Hello, this is Sidney Potter, Pasadena, California with Potter Equities. Thank you for your time. I've been asked to comment on how to get a mortgage before moving. Something that we typically don't think about, but it's something that you should be aware of. I've got a couple excellent tips here that I think might be helpful, so please do listen. Critically important, first and foremost, be employed. Have a job. I know that sounds rather crude and perhaps a bit of an overreach, but what lenders look for, especially when you're going to make a move, is that you be gainfully employed. Now, let me point something out that your average listing or your average mortgage broker or loan officer probably won't point out, and that is if you're anticipating moving and you're not employed, still apply for a mortgage loan. And that is that you would apply for a mortgage loan if, in fact, you're a co-borrower. Let's say your spouse, your husband, or your significant other, whatever your situation is, you'd put them in first position as a primary borrower, and then you would be the co-borrower. And they're not going to rely so much on you having a job per se. So fear not. If you don't have a job, I'd still apply for a mortgage loan when you're anticipating moving. But I got to tell you, it certainly helps to have a job, and that's what lenders are certainly going to focus on. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule if you're, in fact, a co-borrower and you're not the primary borrower and you don't have a job. Most lenders will rely upon secondary income. Secondary income could be from rental properties that they have, could be from stocks and bonds that you have. They could be some of the type of passive income, let's say spousal support or alimony might even make a difference. Some type of continuous reoccurring income where it precludes you from having a job. So if you find yourself in a situation, fear not. There's lots of lenders out there that have other ways in which to make it ink out. But most importantly, hopefully do have a job. It becomes very important when you're considering relocating. Now, if you have a situation and you're considering moving, not all of us have the capacity to have two mortgages at the same time. Well, there's a way around this, at least a way to help lessen the blunt, at least in terms of a liability perspective. You can always rent your house out. That's certainly going to make up for the income or the loss of income that you'll have going towards that mortgage. If it's too expensive and you can't handle that, I would absolutely recommend potentially renting out the house. Another item that I would highly recommend in terms of anticipating your expenses, get a relocation calculator. Most websites, you put that in a search engine, relocation calculator will be a great way to at least give you a sense of the anticipation on what your expenses are going to look at before you get a mortgage, before you leave, actually. And lastly, I always like to give websites out because they're great utility tools. I would go to realtor.com, a wonderful tool that's going to give you resources, and particularly mortgage lenders that look for folks that are moving. And secondly, I would go to lendingtree.com. They're an excellent resource as well. So with that, this is Sidney Potter. Thank you for your time. I'm with Potter Equities in Pasadena, California. And as I wish all very well, I'll see you at the finish line. Take care. 2 minutes, 13